When a legend like Wayne Rooney speaks, people in the football world tend to listen. And recently, he used a word that, well, it stopped people in their tracks. It's a charged word, a heavy word, and he aimed it right at the heart of one of last season's biggest transfer stories. He was talking about Chelsea and their record-breaking signing, and the word he used was exploited. Now, to understand the weight of that, you have to go back to the summer of 2023. The transfer market was in a frenzy, as it always is, and the name on everyone's lips was Moisés Caicedo, a brilliant young midfielder at Brighton, just 21 years old. He was the real deal, a force in the middle of the park, tenacious, technical, every top club wanted him, and a bidding war was brewing. Liverpool thought they had their man. They put in a massive bid, a club record, £111 million. Brighton accepted it. It looked like a done deal. Caicedo was heading to Anfield. But then, a twist. The player himself, it turned out, only had eyes for London, for Chelsea. And so Chelsea, feeling the pressure, did what they do. They put their money on the table. A staggering £115 million. That's about 146 million US dollars. A new British transfer record. The deal was done. Caicedo was a Chelsea player, signed on a massive 8-year contract. The football world collectively gasped at the fee. For a 21-year-old defensive midfielder, it was an astronomical sum. And with that kind of money comes a certain kind of pressure. A crushing weight of expectation. Every pass, every tackle, every single second on the pitch is scrutinized through the lens of that price tag. £115 million. It becomes your new first name. And this is where Wayne Rooney's comment comes into sharp focus. He wasn't just talking about a bad deal. He suggested that Chelsea, in paying that fee, had in some way exploited the situation. But who were they exploiting? Brighton, who made a massive profit? The market itself? No. Rooney seemed to be pointing directly at the young man at the center of it all.
Moisés Caicedo. Think about it. Rooney's point is that when a club pays that kind of money, they aren't just buying a player, they're buying a solution, a quick fix. They're putting an impossible amount of responsibility on the shoulders of one person. In this case, a young man who is still finding his feet at the highest level. You're no longer just Moisés Caicedo, the talented kid from Ecuador. You are now Mr. 115 million. The man who is supposed to single-handedly transform a midfield. And Rooney knows a thing or two about pressure. He burst onto the scene as a teenager, the great hope of a nation. He carried that weight his entire career. So when he says a situation is exploitative, he's speaking from a place of deep personal understanding. He's arguing that the system, the clubs, the agents, the media hype, creates a scenario where a player's well-being is secondary to the transaction. The fee becomes the story. The human being becomes a commodity. And did we see that play out? In his first season at Stamford Bridge, Caicedo struggled. He looked at times like a player trying to do too much, trying to justify the fee with every touch of the ball. The game, which once seemed so natural to him at Brighton, suddenly looked complicated, labored. The press was critical, the fans were impatient. You could almost see the price tag hanging over his head every time he stepped onto the field. This isn't to say he's a bad player, far from it. As the season wore on, he found his rhythm. Glimpses of the Brighton powerhouse started to reappear. He even scored a goal from the halfway line on the final day of the season, a moment of pure, unburdened brilliance. But Rooney's point lingers. Was that initial struggle inevitable? Was he set up to fail in a way? By paying a fee that no single player could ever hope to live up to immediately, did Chelsea exploit his talent and ambition for their own desperate need for a marquee signing? It's a question that cuts to the core of modern football. The money has become so vast, so detached from reality, that we often forget the human element. We see the headline, the record fee, and we expect a superhero. But what we get is a young person in a new city at a new club, with the world watching and waiting for him to justify a number that he had no part in setting. So when Wayne Rooney uses a word like exploited, he's asking us to look past the balance sheets. He's asking us to consider the cost. Not the financial cost to the club, but the human cost to the player. And in the dizzying, high-stakes world of the Premier League, that's a conversation we probably don't have nearly often enough.